Today we're going to start out, as we always do, with an art talk. It's Wayne Thiebaud, a California artist who is kind of just a very interesting individual. He's taken some very kind of just normal, everyday objects and have made them into, I guess, delectable delights, as you can see in a lot of people's backgrounds. So today Sarah is not able to join us, and so we have Maureen Murphy, who's going to talk to us about Wayne.
Maureen, well, thank you. So I guess I want to start off by saying that this picture that I've got in my background was on the cover of the New Yorker in August. So he's still, like AJ said, got a lot of, he's very relevant. So let's get moving here. Okay, so Wayne Thiebaud was born in 1920 in Mesa, Arizona, but moved to Southern California with his family as a young child. He grew up in Long Beach area, and one summer while in high school, he interned at the Walt Disney Animation Studios drawing short cartoons. After high school, he went on to study at San Jose State and transferred to Cal State Sacramento. He began teaching at Sacramento City College and focused on the main principles of art: color, texture, movement, etc. He was very straightforward in his philosophy of art. He believed in the value of hard work as a way to propel and supplement creativity. Art just wasn't something you threw together on canvas. It was something you constantly had to work at. We will look at some of his paintings and how he talks about them as a labor of love. Art isn't just a creative activity, it is also an activity of creation. Wayne had been painting for years with little recognition, but finally had come into the public eye when Sidney Janis Gallery in New York launched an exhibition on pop art in 1962. However, I will say that while Wayne is usually grouped in as a pop artist with the likes of Warhol and Lichtenstein, his paintings predate the pop art movement, so he's more regarded as an influence of pop art rather than a pop artist himself. He was inspired from life, not pop culture and imagery. It's a bit philosophical, but I wanted to reiterate that he was a straightforward painter that took influence from the direct environment and around him. So this first picture I'm going to share is called Untitled Bakery Case, and it's from 1963. So let me get that up and get rid of myself here. And bear with me here. Now that I just did that, I need to, hold on. Okay, so this painting highlights Thiebaud's proficiency in the principles of art. You can see the attention to the shading, using lines, and adding texture. As well, you notice that this is a simple sketch of a bakery case. He worked in a diner as a teenager and used a lot of that imagery to inspire his work. So as I mentioned before, he found inspiration from his surroundings rather than pop culture like pop artists would. Okay, so I'm going to switch pictures. This next picture I'm going to show is called Cakes, also from 1963. So this was made as the same year as the previous sketch, and is another example of how Wayne took the inspiration from his personal life and his environment. This painting shows how he played with color. An article in the Smithsonian states that over the years, Thiebaud has repeatedly tackled the same subjects, not to perform a formula, but to keep exploring the formal possibilities of painting. He was interested in experimenting with the different principles of painting, as mentioned before, and he wasn't interested in trying to make something relevant or philosophical as per se Rothko. He wanted his viewers to have a certain emotional or philosophical reaction, whereas Thiebaud was practicing his craft. And this last painting is one that I really like. It's called Sunset Streets. Here it is. So in this painting, this one's called Sunset Streets. It's from 1985, and he also has another one called Flatland River from 1997. They're noted for their hyperrealism and have been compared to Edward Hopper's work, another artist who is fascinated with mundane scenes from everyday American life. This is one of Thiebaud's later works, and you can see how his style has changed slightly. It's slightly more abstract of a painting that focuses on a special relationship. He plays with near and far, flat and three-dimensional, and light and shadow. It doesn't say specifically which street this represents, but I'd like to say that it's the Sunset Streets as a painting of Sunset Boulevard. You can see the winding street that goes from the hills into the cityscape, and I love this because it reminds me of driving down Sunset Boulevard and the different neighborhoods you go through. Some of his collections, that he's got permanent collections at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York, and the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, along with many other institutions. So that's it.
Excellent. Hey, thank you, Maureen. That one of your earlier photos or pictures that you displayed showed a really Boston cream pie that just really looked very delicious.
This
right
one?
There. Yes.
Yes. All the desserts on this one look delicious. I would take any of them.
And I see a lot of folks have picked the sweets for their background. So see, Holly's got the iconic ice cream cones that are melting in the plates. And I can't quite figure out Peter Sherman's background, though. Peter, what was it that appealed to you in terms of the clown?
Well, all I did, AJ, was run a query on the Google, and I preferred this to food.
Okay. Well, you're that's why you have that swell figure.
I think that and the elliptical.
Yes.
Of course.
And I see that Norm and Alan Kimball, probably a few, and Carla have picked watermelons. It's actually makes me wish that we were back in the height of the summer season with watermelons.
Gonna get some today.
Right. So does anyone have, thank you, Maureen, for sitting in for Sarah this week. Anyone have any questions? We'll try to, Maureen will try to do her best to answer them about Wayne. Stephen, you usually have a question about the artist. Stephen Bott?
Yeah, I don't have a question. My comment was going to be that if he was an artist in an earlier period, it looks like his career progression would have gone from still lifes, where he did like a perfect rendition of a bowl of fruit or something, onto a landscape, those kind of landscapes that were popular, where it was this old Roman ruin that had become overgrown.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so he kind of made that switch from doing things that from everyday life onto the landscape stuff like Sunset Boulevard that we saw a minute ago.
And that Sunset Boulevard actually looked a lot like Sunset Boulevard in some ways. I think this depends on your point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Where on Sunset Boulevard you're looking from or down onto. Yeah.
Yep.
Great. All right then. Thank you, Maureen.